Today I want to talk about the 10 most common questions regarding processing at the National Visa Center.
Okay, Tom, what is the National Visa Center?
Well, the National Visa Center is a U.S. Department of State facility that reviews all immigrant visa cases before they are scheduled for a visa appointment at a U.S. embassy or consulate abroad.
How does my case get to the National Visa Center office?
Well, first, a visa petition must have been filed with the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service office, and it must have been approved. After approval, the Citizenship, Immigration Service sends the file to the National Visa Center. However, not all cases are automatically sent to the National Visa Center. If the petitioner who filed the case stated that the beneficiary, the person who was going to receive the visa, would process the case in the United States, the case will not be sent automatically to the National Visa Center.
What does the National Visa Center office do then?
The National Visa Center reviews all the documents and forms needed for the interview and reviews them to make sure that they meet all the legal requirements. When they are satisfied, an interview date is set.
Well, that's interesting. What should I designate an agent for purposes of processing at the National Visa Center?
It really depends. If you are going to hire an attorney, the attorney will notify the National Visa Center that you are represented by counsel. But if you are going to process without an attorney, you could designate a third party, such as a relative, a paralegal, or a consultant, to help you with the paperwork. Rather than designate an agent with limited knowledge, we suggest you hire an attorney who understands all aspects of the process.
What kind of documents does the National Visa Center review?
Well, first they look at family documents, such as birth certificates, marriage certificates, divorce decrees, and then they review military and criminal records. They review any required police clearances, and lastly, they review the financial support package.
Are all cases at the National Visa Center processed in the same way?
No, some cases have been assigned to the electronic process that requires all documents be sent to the National Visa Center electronically. All other cases, the requested items must be sent in the mail.
I've heard about police clearance. Do all cases require police clearance?
No, some countries are exempt from this requirement. The State Department website lists the requirements for each country. For example, if you are applying for an immigrant visa and you are from Mexico, a police clearance from Mexico is not required for the time you lived in Mexico.
Well, do you need a police clearance from every country that you visited?
No, you only need to provide a police clearance if you have lived in a country for more than 6 months after the age of 16.
What is required for an affidavit of support in a support package?
This is the area where we find the most mistakes. There are different kinds of affidavit of support forms to select from. Choosing the right form is critical. Also, the affidavits of support can be documented in different ways, depending on the financial strategy selected by the sponsor. This is why it's a good idea to have an attorney help you with this process. Otherwise, much time can be wasted in submitting the wrong forms or using the wrong financial strategy.
My last question is, what kinds of supporting documents are required from a financial sponsor?
Well, first you need to give information on the last 3 years of your federal income tax returns. Second, you need to provide evidence of your source of income. This would include pay stubs, an employment confirmation letter, or other letters showing the source of your support. My name is Tom Langford. I can be reached at thomaslangfordlaw.com. My telephone number is 707-747-5133. Thank you.